Welcome to another edition of the Washington Demon Coaches Show. I'm your humble yet confident host, Todd Patterson. We're still playing around with names for this. Patterson Van Weelden Power Hour seems to be the one that's got the best legs so far. Washington Press Box I liked for a while. Coach's Corner, I think that's already taken. So I think we'll go with Patterson Van Weelden Power Hour. What do you guys think? That means you got to be here. It's actually only a half hour too, but
yep.
Today I'm obviously joined in the studio again by Mr. Brent Van Weelden. How are you today?
Wonderful. It's great.
The other half of the Power Hour duo. We're here to talk about wrestling today. I'm pretty excited about that, specifically girls wrestling. But we're going to talk a little bit about both boys and girls, but we're joined today by one of the girls wrestlers, Taylor Sulentic, and we're happy Tegan Sulentic, right? Jeez, what is up with me and the names?
I don't know.
Is any part of that name right? Tegan Sulentic. Sulentic.
Yep.
Put the accent on the wrong syllable too. So
should we do tongue twisters again today?
Yeah, sometimes I don't word so good.
Yeah. Yeah. A little off air joke there, right?
Brent, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on in the school district?
Yeah, there's stuff going on. It's a lot of things we've talked about earlier, but we had the all-state band tryouts at Washington a couple of weeks ago, and this weekend those people who qualified, Kevin Flannery, Tig Mayer, Bailey Reese, and Claire Webina, get to go up to Ames to practice with the other all-staters around the state, and then they have a concert that evening. Just so happens that Iowa State has a home football game that starts at 6 o'clock that night as well, so we've been getting all kinds of memos from the state about parking and where everybody should and shouldn't be, but that's this weekend. Last weekend,
I imagine there would be more people at the band concert than at an Iowa State game, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know. There should be if there's not.
Just saying.
Yeah.
If they're not at UNI.
Right. BPA went to the United Fall Leadership Conference over the weekend. They took 70 kids there. Mrs. Dua has a lot of kids in the Business Professionals of America, and they go to the conference, and it's kind of crazy. They went up on Sunday, stayed Sunday night, and then went to conferences on Monday, and then they were back for practice Monday evening. So that was nice.
So how many kids did you say were in that?
About 70 went up there.
70, wow.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I don't think that's everybody in the program, but 70 of them went to the conference.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the band thing? Can you say the kids again? That qualified for All-State Band. I just wanted to recognize them.
Tig Mayer and Claire Webina, Bailey Reese, and Kevin Flannery.
So let's just take a second to congratulate those kids. I know most of them. They're great kids and really exceptional musicians as well. So congratulations to you all, and hope you have fun. Don't mess up.
And that kind of leads right into we had the play last weekend, Radium Girls, and many of those people that we just mentioned are also in the play, so they were kind of doing double duty there.
Did you make it?
I did. I was there Friday night.
It was hilarious, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was hilarious.
No, it wasn't funny. They did a fantastic job.
They did a great job. Did you go?
Not a comedy, yes. Not a comedy, though.
No.
But yeah, Brett Pearson, who was here a couple weeks ago or last week, did a fantastic job putting that together and directing that. The kids that were in that show, I mean, as somebody who tries to act on occasion, they all blow me out of the water. So they're very, very talented, and it was a really good show.
Yeah, they did amazing. It was. One of those shows. I guess I'm kind of you wouldn't know, but I get emotional once in a while, and there's a couple times where the hairs on the back of your neck stand up a little bit, and when that happens, they're doing a good job.
It's good, so, right? You can't tell. Yeah. So, I'm not emotional. No, never have been.
So Radium Girls, great show. Leading into tomorrow night. The middle school play, an absolutely true story as told by a bunch of liars is at the high school tomorrow night starting at 6 o'clock.
We approximated that title last week, so we got it this week. So do you know any of the kids that are in that?
I don't.
Who's do you know who's directing it?
You would have to ask me that question. I do.
Sounds like.
Can you help me?
Sing
Aaron
it.
Smith's daughter.
Okay.
JC Stapp. Thank you.
Okay.
JC Stapp.
I thought maybe you sang it. That's all right.
I'm not very good with words on spur of the moment either.
Not every one of these is a power hour.
Right. So that'll be fun. If you don't have anything to do tomorrow night, you can go watch that at 6 o'clock.
All right. I'll be in Nashville.
Oh,
actually.
Is it warmer down there? Is it cold there as well?
40. It's 40 there. So I was kind of disappointed in that, but I'm not going to be. I wanted to go see the middle school play, and that's just one showing. So, all right. Well, what else is going on?
Just learned this week, the Iowa Association of Track Coaches and Cross Country Coaches, Stephanie Hayworth, was won the award of one of the 5 at-large cross country coaches in 3A. Obviously, they had a great season with the girls making it to state cross country and the boys with a couple qualifiers. So
they ended up here 3 times.
Yeah,
I mean, you have a good season if you end up on the Power Hour thrice.
Yeah.
So
and then Coach Steve Roth was also chosen as one of the track coaches from last year's track team. They did extremely well in the boys' track meet. I think they were
third.
I
think they were third or
fourth.
Third or fourth, right in there. Yeah. And they had a lot of high place.
They did.
Yeah, a lot of good results. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, congratulations to Miss Hayworth and Mr. Roth, LGD. And you guys are great. And I've been impressed with the running programs that we've had here over the many years, but especially lately.
Yeah, they've done a great job, for sure. Other than that, we really just have, the girls go to scrimmage basketball at Wapello, and then they open up on November 22nd up in Anamosa, girls basketball. And the state is allowing a lot more scrimmages now to get everybody accustomed to the shot clock. Yeah. So that's always good.
So how long is the shot clock? I don't recall.
35 seconds. Yeah. And it's interesting. So if the shot clock goes out, then you're supposed to have a backup, like a stopwatch at the table. And then someone's supposed to yell out, maybe the PA guy, they got to count down 10, 9, 8. So
for those who don't know, I've just been recruited to do some PA work for the basketball team this year. When you're a vocal talent, you just expect those types of things. So why don't are you good? Why don't we take a quick break and come back and we talk about wrestling a little bit?
Sounds good.
All right.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
Siouxland Tick.
Hey, welcome back to Washington Demon Coaches Show. I'm your host, Todd Patterson, and you're getting a double dose of Brent Van Weelden today, for better, for worse. We're here to talk about wrestling today. I mean, I know my opinion of it. Always for the better, Brent.
Yep.
But, put it in the comments if you feel like it. We're here. We're going to talk about wrestling.
Can I be fired?
You may want to be. So Mr. Van Weelden is, of course, the coach of the boys wrestling team as well as the girls wrestling team, and I'm excited to hear about the girls wrestling team. But why don't you give us a little bit of background on how when's the season started, where kind of how things are shaping up, where you guys open up, etc.
So I'll talk mostly about girls wrestling since Tegan is here, and maybe later we can do more about boys. But so the girls wrestling team, they started practicing October 31st. So we're 2.5 weeks into the season, and we obviously most of our practices are at home after school. But there were a couple days where we went and worked out with Mid Prairie's girls, and then one day we went and worked out with Highlands girls. And we're going to continue to do that as much as we can this season. It gets a little more challenging now since the boys' season has started, and the rooms are a little more full now with boys and girls. Like us, our girls and boys teams work out together, as most schools do in the area. But we're going to continue to do that, I think, as much as we can get our girls wrestling other girls in a practice situation. Will be really good for us. We opened I should say we have 6 girls out. We started the season with, we thought we were going to have 3. And then at the beginning of the season, we had 4. Now we have 6. So right now we have 1 freshman, Ryan Pepper, who's with us. And then we have 2 sophomores, Peggy Miller and Zoe Lewis. We have 2 juniors, Jenna Bowes and Jillian Langstrat, and then 1 senior, Tegan. So things are going well. They're working real hard, and we had our first meet on Monday. Tuesday, excuse me.
How many of those girls is this their first year? Do you know?
Well, Jillian, Tegan, and Jenna all wrestled last year, and then the other 3 are brand new to the sport.
Okay.
So
that's great. I mean, I personally wrestled and didn't start till 7th grade, so it's not that they're super late to the game, but
it's a little. I mean, it's not super late, but there's some catching up to do.
There is, yeah,
for sure. So
yeah. So on the boys' side, or what? I'm sorry. You said where do you guys open up?
We opened up at North Scott on Tuesday. So there was they had what was called a scramble, which I had never been involved with before, but they took 4 girls in most brackets and put them together, and then if you won your first match, you wrestled whoever won their match from the other side, and then you were done, and then the backside, the 2 losers wrestled as well.
So not a round robin.
It wasn't a round robin, no. Okay. They probably could have done a round robin. They had 120 girls there roughly, and we were there and out by about 6:45, so probably could have done another round, but I understand it can get late, and that's an hour and a half drive for us. And the weather wasn't perfect on Tuesday night, but it was good to get our girls some matches and get rolling with the season. And then we wrestle again on Monday at West Liberty. That's a little different tournament. I've seen a couple things, but they're going to try and create some 8-person brackets. So that'll be fun. So they'll get an opportunity to get probably a few more matches maybe.
Will you guys do duels as well with the girls team, or?
We don't have any duels scheduled right now, with only 3 or 4 girls coming into the season, and they have 14 weights, just like the boys teams. They're different, but 14 different weight classes. We didn't feel it was probably going to be in our best interest to wrestle duels. So we have 9 tournaments on the schedule. I just did add a 10th when the boys wrestle on November 29th against Iowa Valley, Highland, and HLV. We're going to match up some girls in that duel as well. So they'll get to perform at home on November 29th. along with the boys on our opening night. So
I always enjoyed tournaments more than duels anyway, for some reason. I don't know, you get to wrestle. As long as you're not wrestling for third, which is the worst, and you have to wrestle 40 people.
Yeah,
get third.
you have to wrestle.
Brutal.
It can get long.
So what is the state of girls wrestling, would you say, in Iowa, maybe nationwide? I'm not really that plugged into it. I will say, and we talked a little bit about this off camera, but I was just at the Iowa California Baptist wrestling meet on Sunday, and they announced, which I thought was amazing, the girls wrestling team for the University of Iowa, which the University of Iowa was the first Power 5 team to have a full female squad, and
Right.
Clarissa Chung is the coach of that. So, and they talked about, and of course the crowd was going crazy for them. So they're going to be wrestling in that environment,
Right.
and I think there's going to be a ton of support for them. But I was pretty impressed by that, and I'm guessing that will continue that growth pattern. I'm curious, at a high school level, how is that kind of shaping up from your perspective?
Well, I should mention this is the first year that the Iowa Girls Athletic Union is sanctioning girls wrestling. Although we've had girls state tournaments for the past. This will be the fourth year. Tegan's when she was a freshman went to the state tournament that was ran by the Iowa High School Athletic Coaches, the Iowa Wrestling Coaches Association. And back then, I think there was somewhere close to 1,000 girls, maybe 800 girls, I believe. Tegan would probably know better than me, that wrestled in that tournament. According to the stats they have now just put out by the Girls Union, there's over 2,000 girls in the state registered on track wrestling, which we use to keep track of weight, do all our scheduling and stuff like that. So there's over 2,000. So it is growing immensely. I think it's going to continue to grow. A little different this year. They have regionals, so you have to qualify for state, which will be 32-person brackets, which is a little different, guys, but 32-person brackets, and it'll be really we've had state champions, girls state champions in the state, but this will really kind of be the first that's recognized by our athletic unions.
Gotcha.
So,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add on the boys program? Or?
No, we can wait for that. We'll talk later in the year with the boys. We just got rolling on Monday. We just started on November 14th. So,
well, to be honest with you, I love talking to you, but I want to talk to Tegan. So maybe we take a quick break and come back, and we'll pick her brain about her wrestling season.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross. Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
Welcome back to Washington Demon Coaches Show. I'm now very excited to be joined by Tegan Sulentic, one of the girl wrestlers. And Tegan, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So you can tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm curious, how long you've been wrestling. What do you like about wrestling? Those types of things.
Well, I've been wrestling for almost 10 years. I grew up in the sport with my family. I enjoy the sport because it's a very close family atmosphere. Everyone's normally very supporting.
So you're parents wrestler, or you got siblings that wrestle, or?
My dad wrestled in high school, and then my brother started wrestling when he was in kindergarten.
So do you go to a lot of? Is he older?
No, he quit
younger?
wrestling.
Oh, he did.
He was in the play, though, the other night.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
So one of the things I was curious about, I'd like to hear a little bit about your pinning holds. It sounds to me, and I know your coach said to be humble, but you don't have to be humble. You don't have to be humble for my sake. So talk to me about how you approach a match. It sounds like you're a pinner. I like that. I really like watching pinners. My favorite wrestler of all time is Royce Alger, the Fall Guy. 1986, probably didn't see him, but talk to me a little bit about your approach to wrestling. You said you're kind of freestyle too, so.
Most of my mindset is just to go in and have a good time. I don't like to put pressure on myself. Then I go out and I wrestle bad. But I like to go in, one thing I've always said before my matches is wrestle funky fresh.
So what does funky fresh mean? Is that Ben Askren style, where he's just kind of all over the mat and a lot of scramble situations, or just score a lot? I mean,
just to keep moving.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So off camera, you mentioned your favorite pinning hold.
My favorite throw is an arm spin.
Arm spin. Okay. Your favorite throw is an arm spin, which I'm assuming is putting people right onto their back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, let's say you're in the up position or whatever position. What is your favorite pinning hold?
Half Nelson.
Half Nelson. You
Basics.
ever do the inside cradle or anything like that?
I only do cradles if they present themselves.
Opportunistic cradle. So you've now, Mr. Van Weelden said you've qualified for state, or you went to state at least once, right? Mm-hmm. So talk to me about that experience a little bit.
So my freshman year, I placed third at state. I beat 2 state champions that year, past year state champions. It was just crazy to see the amount of girls in one gym wrestling.
And so then did you go to your sophomore and junior year also? My
sophomore year, I was out with an injury. My junior year, I wrestled at state. I didn't do very good because I was injured. I had a torn sternum.
Oh. So you healthy this year?
Yes.
So you're healthy, looking forward to, so Mr. Van Weelden talked about this regional run that you have to make now to qualify. So it's great that you're going to be facing really good competition, before you even get to the state tournament. So what's your favorite thing about wrestling,
My favorite thing about wrestling? This is gonna sound bad, but I like winning.
I don't.
That's not bad.
It feels good.
I mean, wrestling is a very personal sport, right? It's you, and it's kind of a lonely feeling. It's a very hard sport too. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I think it's probably the hardest sport. Dan Gable famously said, "Once you've wrestled, everything else is easy."
Yeah.
There's some truth to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what other activities are you involved in?
I did football cheer, and then I quit everything else because wrestling was taking up more time.
So let's talk about that a little bit. You talked about so in high school wrestling we do what's called folk style wrestling, but you said you also do freestyle wrestling, which is what is used at the national and international level, including the Olympics. So you can talk to me a little bit about your freestyle background?
I mainly just wrestle at local tournaments, like in the state. I've wrestled at an international tournament once.
And they do freestyle at the local tournaments as well?
Yes.
So what are the main differences from your perspective in folk style and freestyle? Like how do you approach it?
Freestyle, I have to be a lot more aggressive because there's a lot less rules, so you can get away with a lot more stuff.
Which one do you prefer?
Freestyle.
Yeah. So what do you think about, so I think I heard this, but I didn't meet you till today, but I think I heard this at like a banquet or something. You're going to be wrestling next year at the next level?
Yes.
So you talk a little bit about what your future plans are?
On last Friday, I signed to University of St. Mary in Leavenworth, Kansas. They've had a program for 4 years. I think I'm going to major in exercise science.
Cool. So, so there's, Mr. Van Weelden said there's 14 weight classes in high school. And in college, I know there's 10. Are there 10 at the women's level too?
Yes. So
like so I know like, 125 to heavyweight is the range for the men's wrestling. what are the weight classes for girls, or at least, where will you be wrestling?
I don't know where that starts in college, but I think it's like 106 to 235. I think I'm going to wrestle 155 in college too.
Okay. Nice. I was in 7th grade when I did that. So that's really exciting for you. So, will you wrestle then all the rest of this year, basically? Is that the plan? Are you just going to be wrestling year round?
Yeah.
Do you do anything else like MMA?
No.
But maybe. Do you think you'd ever?
It's been a thought.
I think that's pretty cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to add?
No. I don't know.
Mr. Van Weelden, anything you like to add?
Well, just listening to Tegan talk and obviously being around her for the last 4 years, she is very passionate about the sport, and when she warms up, she's got her music playing and she's dancing around. So she does like to stay loose and have fun. We walked into North Scott the other day, and we just walked in the door, and she's yelling hi to some girl halfway across the gym, and the girl's yelling back. So the girls around the state, they do have a real close bond with one another. Just like you probably experienced wrestling in high school and stuff, that once you make those friends, in high school and travel with them on traveling teams or whatever it may be, you probably know it with Ethan and baseball and basketball and stuff, but they make lifelong friends, and Tegan's obviously done that with her endeavors, during the season and out of season. So she's definitely put the time in, and I'm sure she'll have a great year.
Yeah, I think you're going to win state this year. That's my prediction.
I'm not going to say it myself, but it's a goal.
I'm going to knock on wood, and I bet you would win it with a cradle.
Cradle.
Because I bet it presents itself.
Yep. There you go.
I was always more of an armbar series guy myself because I was tall.
Do we ever work on arm bars?
Never.
was that kind of your jam
that was
too?
last night and tonight.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck this season. I will definitely try to get to a meet this year, and I think that you got a great shot winning state, and I want to wish you the very best as you go to St. Mary's in Leavenworth, Kansas.
Thank you.
And when I see you next time, I will do my best to pronounce your name correctly, but phonetics are important, and it's not spelled like it's pronounced, so
it's close enough.
Well, Mr. Van Weelden.
There we go.
All right,
I've been called worse.
I just like to thank my guests, Brent Van Weelden and Tegan Sulentic, for being here today, and wish you all the best, and I had fun talking to you, so have a great season, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're signing out.